This is My Hero Academia Cross Ultra. Manga, anime, news and more. Cross Ultra.
Hello and welcome to the 95th episode of the My Hero Academia podcast. I'm Kendra, and today with me I have Sophie!
Hello!
And Gary!
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, I thought she went high. I was like, you go deep, but whatever. I didn't have to.
Hello.
And, yay. And today we're going to be covering episode 87, Japanese Hero Billboard Chart, and then manga chapter 266, Happy Life. Spoiler alert, it is not a happy chapter.
and not a happy wife.
Oh, yeah.
But this is going to be the most Hawks-filled episode we could ever do. The whole episode, the anime and the manga, we're just going to be talking about hawks.
Hawks only.
Shock full of hawks.
Shock full of hawks. I don't know what that was. Well, Hawks was trending a few days ago when the episode aired, which is kind of funny. And we did get, for the bit of the news, we did get 2 doodles for the anime episode, and it was kind of like behind the scenes, like the heroes getting brought on stage, basically.
I haven't been out to see them.
Oh.
I thought they were leaving, but that could be too.
I don't know, because he's rushing Hawks off, and Hawks is eating.
Yeah. I thought he was just taking him out of craft services.
Maybe. And then some people have been doing really cute, My Hero related Animal Crossing stuff, which is really cute. I'm trying to see if I can. Oh, it's at TMGKK_GHN is doing really cute, everybody's outfits, Animal Crossing. And that's, there's a bonus chapter that was for, the movie. It was the villains, undercover, the League of Villains Undercover, and it tells us a little bit more about Nine. So basically we learn, spoilers for Sophie, Nine's, original power was the lightning thing.
Ooh.
But
yeah,
that's not really a spoiler. I don't think even the biggest My Hero fans will be like, ooh, what juicy news!
And then we see him, interact with the doctor a little bit, and that's, literally it. But, still, it's interesting. It's cool. It was mainly just a surprise, because I was like, oh, wait, what? But that's about it. Are we ready to jump into the manga? Are we ready to jump into the anime?
Yeah, that was a really cool bit of chapter that Horikoshi threw out for people.
It's nice.
I do want to read it when I have enough energy and time.
This is My Hero Academia.
Okay, so this is My Hero Academia, anime episode 87, entitled Japanese Hero Billboard Chart. And it covers manga chapters 184 to 186. This is the penultimate. We have one more episode this season than ever before. Ooh, spoiled for choice. So unusually at the start of the episode, we start with no previous episode flashback. But we do learn that it's now November, and Izuku walks into a UA building, which is, likely his dorm room, I guess, to see Ozawa, Tamaki, and Najiri, who is currently doing Eri's hair in cute bunches. We learn that Eri will now be residing in UA instead of going to an orphanage, so that Ozawa can monitor her horn that appears to grow and shrink according to her, I'm going to put that in speech bubble quotes, shonen power level. Though Mirio is going to be doing most of the caring because he can't participate in the hero course without his quirk. I'm hoping that he's still doing regular school stuff though, because maths is important.
I think he is, almost done, though. Because he's third year. But still, I can't be all of a sudden, now you are this child's father.
But the last year is the most important year, because that's when you've got all your big tests and stuff.
Yeah, but I guess, does he have to go to college or anything? Because, he's...
if he doesn't get his quirk back, he either want to go to college or he should still finish secondary school, even if he ends up working in his dad's, because his dad owns a car shop or something, doesn't he?
Oh, I
He's a
don't know.
mechanic, I think. I'm guessing this because the picture that we saw of his dad when he was talking to him, it looks like he's wearing like a car mechanic uniform.
Oh.
But, I don't know, I just think he should stay in school.
Yeah, stay in school, kid.
Yeah.
Be cool.
It was very on point that, Froppy was the one to be like, oh, Sour, that's a lot of work for you. She's always worrying about her teacher's health.
Very nice.
Yeah. And then Tamaki points out that if Eri can control her quirk, Mirio might be able to then get his quirk back. And the way that he says it is really cute because he says, then it will be the return of the invincible man. I love their friendship. And next, after the intro song, we go straight into seeing Fumikage sneezing. And I really like how they animated his beak. One sneeze and Ochako starts to really worry about his health, which felt very fitting for what's going on in the real world.
Oh, true. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
I
one
was
sneeze
like,
and she's like, you're ill?
I was thinking, like, do birds have mucous membranes? But they do.
Oh, did you Google it?
Yes, I googled it. I paused because I was like, wait, how do birds work? I should have googled if birds sneeze.
Oh, cute. We then get some light teasing between Denki, Fumikage, and Momo as sneeze, like when you sneeze, it's like an old wives' tale that someone's talking about you. And he jokes that Fumikage might have fans like Momo, but she doesn't appreciate the teasing. She's so good even down to her core, and she will take no jokes about her supportive fans from the last episode. She's so pure that she might be the traitor.
No!
Heresy! No.
Oh, that would be a hell of a reveal, honestly, because she wasn't even on my radar, so who knows? Just throw the darts. If you throw the darts enough, you're bound to hit somebody.
She lets her hair down, she shakes her head, and now she's got a really evil look, and she's like, I was kidding the whole time. I'm not kind or bouncy.
I actually have tiny boobs.
It's all padding. We learn that Fumikage interned with Hawks, but who is Hawks other than Fumikage saying he's too fast? We will soon learn. And just then, wild pussycats burst in with a somewhat lackluster animation compared to the manga. That's one of my very few criticisms of this episode, and I'll just roll it out there and carry on. So Koda is also there, and he shrugs off Izuku's thanks to the letter, but we see that he insisted on them buying him red shoes that match Izuku, so...
And also match Shigaraki, so he's actually the traitor!
The cahoots!
The red shoes, just like, Shigaraki Deku having red shoes, I will go to my death, being like, what? There's symbolism in shoes! But continue.
It's very sad that we don't see Kota meet Eri, because that would be really cute.
The babies should meet.
Yeah. And we learn the pussycat dolls? No.
I call them that too!
What an insult to the wild pussycats. They are here to see Class 1 and B before they go back to being heroes after their hiatus. Ragdoll will be their office assistant as her quirk has not come back, and we get a little bit of exposition saying that she won't be able to get her quirk back because sneaky One for All can't be trusted to use his quirk. Who'd have thought? World's biggest ever villain, can't trust him. So on a lighter note, the Pussycat Dolls have been reinvigorated, because even though they dropped from number 32 to number 411 on the Hero Billboard charts, they're very happy to have still made the list, and that is the kind of optimism we all need. Though maybe not to the level of Kirishima, who's so inspired that he shouts and cries.
Goals.
But what are the Hero Billboard charts, you ask? Well, let's go there and find out. And we go straight there. It's the twice yearly ranking of all the heroes, and it's the first one without All Might on the list, so they've decided that for the first ever time, they're going to hold it in a massive stadium and have all of the top 10 heroes come up and say some words. Sure, what a way to do it. Anyway, we go straight there, and we see that Ryuko has number 10. She's dropped from number 9, and if you forgot, she's the dragon hero from the last arc. She feels that she doesn't deserve it. And then number 9, who is also moved down, is the equipped hero, Yuri Musha, who I like the animation of him, but his face looked really grey. I feel like instead of the equipped hero, he'd be like the zombie hero. But he feels that this big meeting is of a signal of the erroneous times. And next we go to number 8, who people would know from the clean and shiny commercial. It's the world's best ever hero. He's my number 1, the laundry hero, Wash. And out of the washing machine, we see loads of bubbles emerge and a wash.
Oh, yeah, he's a washing machine. Keep going. No, nothing to see here.
He has eyes too.
Yeah.
He's like the cutest hero. Anyway. Okay, so number 7 is Kamui Woods. We know him. And then Mount Lady is interviewed in the audience, and she says that she's honored that a team member is in the top 10, and she's asked if they're dating, and she replies no comment. And then after the reporter leaves, she grabs hold of Death Arms by the collar and complains about not being in the top 10, and he reminds her that she was 23, so that's pretty good.
I do love that, like, she is really good with the press.
Yeah, I thought that too. Like, she was totally code switching, if you will.
And she's done really quick, because I think in like the first we meet her in like the first episode and find out a bit about her, and that she's like new on the scene and she's already started her own agency and stuff. So don't be too hard on yourself, Mountain Lady. You've done really well.
Yeah, if you think about it, she just like debuted this year, basically. Or was that her debut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
she's 21.
She's 21. Oh, woo! Go, Mountain Lady.
I'd say she's like less hard on herself and more like she doesn't like to see people succeed.
And of all the people she wants to not succeed as well as her, it's her possible boyfriend. What a relationship goal.
Yeah. Okay, so then number 6 is Crust, the shield hero, and he's described as being from the Orthodox school of manliness. And he laments not seeing All Might in action more, and he has a single manly tear.
He's the adult Kirishima, isn't he? But in a crop top.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, he reminds me of him too, yeah. So next up we have Mirko, the rabbit hero. She's number 5, and she scolds the number 4 hero for joining a team, calling him a weakling. And the number 4 is Edgeshot, who tells her to be quiet. They're in public. And so this is her debut too. We haven't seen her yet, other than in the end credits. But anyway. So the reporter notes that the heroes involved in the Camino incident all saw their rank go up, and the next hero has the highest popularity ranking and places 3rd despite being on hiatus, and that's Best Genus. And he's not actually present. We just see like a Jumbotron picture of him. Then number 2 is Wing Hero Hawks, who does what he wants and reached the number 2 spot with a great momentum. Then number 1 is Endeavor, who is now officially number 1. So
it's funny. The number 2 is really hot, and then number 1 is like actually hot.
Literally, yeah.
Yes, as well as probably kind of hot if you're into that.
Next we have an authoritative woman, and she notes the public's concerns of a lack of a symbol of peace with All Might's retirement, but encourages all to work toward a peaceful society with the new top 10.
The anime is taunting me by not telling me her name. So is the manga.
I know.
I know that hasn't been revealed yet. And also, like, it should have introduced her here, really, but she is the leader, like, the president of the hero security thing or something. She's top brass, basically.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, I'm sure they'll get to that eventually. So then Hawks asks Endeavor what it's like to be number 1. He just gets a glare from him. Then the interview portion, Ryuko starts, and she says she would have refused her position at number 10 if she could have, as she felt she could have saved more lives in the Shihazaki incident, but she strives to be worthy of her rank. Then Fat Gum is in the audience with a single tear, and he's like, Ryuko. Then Crust interrupts to encourage her as well. Then Gimli talks a little bit, but then Wash interrupts, and he's really fired up, and he's like, "What's that?" And then it just like cuts away from that. That was like my highlight of the episode.
He's telling everyone to wash your hands.
Yeah, he's the hero we need in these times.
Yeah,
anyway,
we found so many references in this episode.
Yeah. So then, Kamui Woods wants to bring honor to those who came before him, starting with Edgeshot, who joined his team recently. Then Hawk squirms a little bit. Then Crust laments not being there at the Camino incident. And Mirko threatens to send enemies flying. And then Hawk sighs. Edgeshot is grateful for his popularity, but isn't interested in fame, only in bringing about peace. Then Hawks asks, who's going to be happy listening to that? Stain? And then he's met with silence from the audience. Mirko says she likes Hawks' cheekiness. And then Hawks takes the mic from the reporter lady, and he says first in popularity was Best Genius due to the boost his hiatus got, followed by him, Edgeshot, then Endeavor. He declares that he thinks approval rating is the most important thing right now, and he hovers in the air with his wings, and he suggests changing how they do things. Then he tells the heroes to say things more hero-like, and it shows us that he's 22 and made it to the top 3 in the last ranking. He started his own agency at 18 and was in the top 10 by the second half of that year. The first under 20 to make that happen, make the top 10. And so fast. Thackum notes that it's arrogant, and Hawks points out that Endeavor has a lower approval rating than him as he gives him his turn to speak. Then we get a flashback of Endeavor asking All Might what it means to be the symbol of peace. And then back at the Billboard event, Endeavor says, just watch me. And Hawks slow clap.
I didn't really realize in the manga that, like, no one else applauded. So it was, like, I really liked the way the anime handled that, where just, like, you kind of hear the clap, like, echo.
So awkward.
I know.
Yeah, he gave me, I remember in the manga too, like, I did not like him from the start, and here reminded me of that. He's just really obnoxious. It's like, we'll talk about that more. Anyway, so next we get the first eye catch for the commercial break, and it's Froppy, and it tells us that she can do frog things. Then Kirishima's eye catch, he can harden his whole body for offense and defense. Okay, so next, backstage, we see Hawks apologize to Endeavor, saying that he wanted to say something that made more of an impact. And he assures Endeavor that he was helping him, giving him an opportunity to become the next leader. He assures Endeavor that he was cool, but Endeavor questions if he's mocking him. And then Hawks denies wanting to be the new leader and just wants things to be easier for lower-ranked heroes. Then Endeavor says he hates people like Hawks and tells him to go away. And Hawks wants to team up with Endeavor, telling him that his hometown has had trouble with troubling eyewitness reports, mentioning No Moo. So then we get a change of scene with Dobby walking into a dark room saying he had high hopes for this creature called High End, and its weird iris thingy and pupil drops down in its eye and looks at Dobby.
They seem to be keeping it in like a shed.
Yeah, kind of.
Like a dark, empty shed.
Yeah. So then we get another change of scene, and we in outdoors, and a man is wearing a trench coat, and we see his bare legs, but he has socks and shoes on anyway. And then he's standing in front of a building, and we see a shot of a book entitled Metahuman Liberation Warfront, Unprecedented Reprinting Destro's Life Story. He states that he wants to be liberated from the company he works for, and exposes his nakedness to the public, shouting, "Hooray for the meta liberation!" His name is Teruo Hazakashi. He's age 31. His quirk is shame. The more embarrassed he gets, the stronger he gets. So then Hawks casually incapacitates him with a feather, knocks him down, as the man yells, "Why?" And Hawks asks Endeavor what kind of food he likes, and Endeavor looks on at the scene of everything going on, and the locals are wondering why this guy is flashing everyone in the cold. Then Hawks goes on about the chicken out of place and asks if Endeavor is hungry. And then there's a dog that jumps out in front of a truck, and Hawks saves it nonchalantly with one of his feathers and returns it to the owner.
Yay! And I do Hawks questions, the very quick questions, reminds me of Nigiri a little bit.
Yeah.
On how.
But I can see that.
Yeah, but also Nigiri, or I guess Nigiri also doesn't wait for a response either. And he does talk, I think Caleb's pointed out that Hawks talks with slang, and I never really noticed it until someone calls out to him and he responds with, I thought he said Momo, but I think he's saying Domo, thank you. So I'm I'm keeping my eye out, even my ears open for slang, even though I don't understand Japanese. So we'll see how that goes. He's very recognizable. And I do appreciate that he took a moment to, warn the old lady that he was going to lift up her bag and, help her carry it, which is very sweet. And let me tell you, there are, a lot of stairs in Tokyo. Or, but not in Tokyo, wherever they are. Japan has a lot of stairs, so if you're carrying luggage, it's hard. And I was trying to keep an eye on Hawks' eyes to see, because he, does stuff so quickly, I was trying to, spot him noticing it. But he doesn't have shifty eyes or really quickly glancing around. Someone runs up to him suddenly and he was just oh yeah, I thought he'd be I'm ready. And he signs a bag for a kid and he makes small talk, he's very friendly. And it's a very big contrast to Endeavor, where everyone's very intimidated by him and just stares at him. And Endeavor does try to change that a little bit. He notices a young fan who's getting teased about being his fan, or just called out for being his fan, and he tries to do the same, don't hold back and do the shaking hands thing. Because he's oh, that worked with Ainasa, but Ainasa also punched himself in the face before he did so. So we might want to check Endeavor's memory on that. And the kid cries blood, and he's you don't do fan service. And I just want to point out, this kid has pink hair. Will that be important later? Will his character be important? We don't know, but he has pink hair. You gotta have pink hair. And Pinky screams that Endeavor is changed and runs away, and I did he had a shark friend with him. And he even, kind of brings up, Ainasa again, and he's why doesn't it work this time? And we cut to them eating, and them eating in their hero outfits is really funny to me. I don't know. And here, Hawks is just, talking his mouth off, or I don't know what the phrase is. And he's oh, I have no self-control in when I see something I want. And he points out, he tried to do that with Shoto. He tried to scout him after the sports festival, as it would have been a good, feather in his cap to have the number 2 hero's son. But he's glad he didn't get him because he's glad he got Tokoyami instead, as Shoto tarnished his brand by failing the exam. And we also learn, he kind of mentions I think Endeavor mentions offhand that Hawks didn't go to UA, so he's not an alumni, and how do you know all this? And Endeavor is just I came here to talk business, not to chit-chat. And so Hawks does go to business, saying that there's been a lot of there's a lot of questions about the Nomu. We saw them at Kamino and at Hoshu, and it's a lot up in the air of, was that all they had at Kamino, or was All for One only one who could make Nomu, or if they had another way? And kind of musing about that, and Endeavor wants proofs, but there is only rumors. And Endeavor goes to leave, and Endeavor clapping for the bill is just, even though he didn't eat anything, is really funny to me. But he manages to grab his attention again, saying, there is Nomu reported across the country, not just here. It's mainly gossiping housewives and school kids. And I was reading a book about yokai, and it kind of sounds like that, where it's it's just more the rumors are kind of it's nothing official. And he did try to investigate with the police, but he got nothing. And then he tried by himself, flying all around the country, and he unfurls his wings there to remind Endeavor that he can fly. And there are similar rumors in different places with no connection, or maybe that's when he unfurls his wings. And there's also really pretty music that's kind of ah, except not the Frozen one. And he thinks that someone is telling spooky stories to stir up uneasiness, and that it's kind of the perfect time for it, as the Hooray for Meta Liberation, that book that inspired that guy, was republished recently, and it's selling a lot, and books like that sell well when society is uneasy, and Hawks talks a lot, but Endeavor is not having it. He's like, what do you want? And Hawks basically wants him to be the figurehead, the dependable leader, investigate the rumors properly and publicly, and tell everyone that there's nothing to worry about. And he says he wants to be the producer behind the number one hero. And it's like, Hawks doesn't really know how to talk to Endeavor. And Hawks basically wants to take it easy. He wants a world where heroes have too much time on their hands. And here's a moment that I, definitely think the anime could have done better, because Endeavor sees something out a window, and we don't see it either. Well, in the manga we did. And then Hawks realizes it as well, and he tells the waitress to stay back. And then I chime in with, haven't you people ever heard of closing a goddamn door? High End comes smashing through the window.
Wow. What an introduction.
I know. It's just like, surprise! His brain's exposed like all Nomu. His computer, he can talk, and his voice sounds very artificial. And I love the choice for the voice. It rhymed. Is really cool. And Endeavor is saying evacuate everyone, and Hawks is like, what about you? And it's like, I have fire powers. And we actually get to see Endeavor does have some hero tech, which I didn't really realize in the manga what he was doing, but he has this gauntlet which kind of feeds air into his fist. So then he does flash fire fist, jet burst punch, and he punches the he punches high end real good. And I kind of like Endeavor is getting the guy to focus on him, and he's kind of flying in air with his feet on fire, and he's like, come on, I'll show you who I am. And then I just wrote, Endeavor is cool. Or maybe hot. I need to stop making fire jokes for Endeavor, but whatever. So that's the end of the episode. I was really surprised, or I guess, I was surprised, it felt like they fit a lot in. You'd almost expect it to end with the reveal of the high-end talk, but they crammed a lot in. And they're gonna have to cram a lot in for next episode. But before we talk about that, Gary, or Sophie, what were your thoughts?
I liked it. I think you can tell when it's coming to the end. I just watched last week's episode today as well. And you can tell that it's coming to the end of the series, and I think they're coming to their end of the budget with the animation as well.
Oh.
Because things have been good, but normally Studio Bones has done a great job with matching the manga art to the anime art, but there's been some scenes where they're just not matching as well, and the manga's coming off a lot better, art-wise than the anime. I'm not saying that the anime's bad, it's just not the standard that it has been in the past. But I really liked the episode. I like the context. I think they showed the personalities of the top 10 really, really well. If only there had been more Wash, but I mean, I know that we all love him. But it was good. I liked seeing their personalities. I liked seeing the colourings of their outfits and things. Yeah, it was good. Hawks. It's nice to go back and revisit Hawks, so we're not going to put these spoilers in for the manga about his personality, but he just comes off as a typical 22-year-old boy who feels like he kind of knows everything, and he's like, oh, I've done so well for myself at this age, just a typical cocky 22-year-old. But no, it was good. I liked it. I like that he put so much interest in the gossip of people he doesn't know. Flew around the country on some gossip, but it was good.
Gary, what are your thoughts?
I liked it as well. Again, they did pack a lot in. I was going to comment on Hawks, how he is talking about oh, you all need to talk like heroes, and it's you're not talking like a hero. I didn't think he was pretty bad, but other than that, I don't think I have a whole lot more to add. I didn't really remember the Shame guy, like, looking how he does, like, hairstyle-wise and stuff like that, so I'd have to go back and look at it, but yeah, I thought it was a pretty decent episode, so not much to complain about. I am looking forward to the next one because we see that fight starting with the high end, so that looks fun.
Mm-hmm. And I guess I really like this episode as well. I like it kind of started with Deku, and I think that was a way for them, because in the manga there was like one chapter without Deku in it, and so now they're like, okay, we need to find some way to have Deku in this, so this is how we're going to separate it. And I really like seeing the pro heroes. It's really cool to see them, and it's also kind of interesting that like the Pussycat or the Wild Pussycat. I always want to call them by that, like, isn't that like a fictional band, the Pussycat Dolls? I don't know. But they ranked 400...
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, it's a real band. Nicole Scherzinger's in it. They do... I think they're back together. They do Don't You Wish Your Girlfriend Was Hot Like Me? Yeah.
Yeah, they've come back, and there's a show in the UK called X Factor, and they did a performance on there, and it got like a really high amount of complaints because it was too raunchy. Like, they were wearing outfits that I wouldn't wear on the beach and being doused in water.
Oh my.
And like gyrating around on the floor.
That's kind of what they were known for.
Yeah, and they're still doing it, and it's like a family program, and they're like wearing no clothes, humping the ground. I didn't mind it, but I can see why they got so many complaints.
I know there was like an Archie's comic, like adjacent thing that had like Josie and the Pussycats or something.
Right.
That's what I think of whenever I see them.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Well, they're real. And so they were happy to be in 411. And so I just wonder, like, how many heroes are there in Japan? But we just get to see the greats, and it's really cool to see them because we recognize some and we don't recognize others. Edgeshot being number 4 is a surprise, but he did a lot in Kamino. I just also like his outfit. It feels very ninja-y. Like, I think because I'm watching a lot of like One Piece and stuff, and like Gintama, so it just makes me think of that.
Even when he was being asked to give his answer, he did the like the ninja sign from like Naruto and things with the 2 fingers.
Yeah, and I was like, "What are you doing? You're supposed to do that when you're like doing something. Maybe it's like his like way to calm down. He's stressed. And he's like, okay, they do this. Just focus on that.
It's good publicity.
Yeah, gotta keep your character up. I don't know. Hawks, Mirko I love, but right now, like, we're seeing a lot of people, and like Wash, we like don't really know anything. They just kind of get like one line. I do like that they all kind of like squabble amongst each other. Hawks is really cool. I love Hawks. Like, he makes an appearance on, like, he brings up Stain, which is kind of like something they don't talk about really. But then he talks a lot without really saying anything. Like, he's saying, like, oh, you guys are, like, saying all the wrong stuff. But then he's not the one saying the right thing. He's like, okay, Endeavor, now the person who's less popular than me, let's hear what you gotta say. And I think Endeavor is, like, kind of, like, trying to figure him out as well. Being like, are you making fun of me or are you not making fun of me? It's very hard to tell. And then, like, throughout the episode, Hawks, like, I don't know, I love, like, he's kind of, like, he feels like he's, I don't know, his, like, heroing is very, like, detached. Like, I think that might be safe to say even this early, that he's, like, saving people, but he doesn't interact with them that much, but he's still, like, really friendly. So I kind of love that we're getting, like, a feel for him, and then all of a sudden, like, in this innocent meeting, all of a sudden, high-end attacks. Like, I love that about My Hero, is that, like, it is very fast, so it doesn't, like, take time, or maybe it'll sometimes, like, slow down and talk about stuff a little bit, but then it isn't afraid to be like, okay, actually no, skip to the fight.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm...
Mm-hmm.
So I'm, like, I do love the downtime as well, but it's kind of funny to all of a sudden, like, it lulls you into safety, especially because we're just coming out of the sports festival, out of the school festival. So we're not as, or even though there was a fight there. I don't know what I'm talking about. But And that's what I do wonder how they are. There's only one episode left, so I don't know if they can finish this fight. I don't know if they might do a cliffhanger.
Oh no, then it'll be a cliffhanger. There's no way they'll finish it.
Because they're not, I don't know. There's quite a bit to fit in, but I'm excited to see Endeavor fight just because, like, I kind of realized more about him from the anime, even, like, how he fights, because I don't think I really understood Jet Burst Pistol, or Jet Burst Punch. I just keep thinking of him as being, like, Ace, so, like, Fire Fist! But I'm excited. I think also, I really hope next episode they do, like, if people are listening to this and they're like, I don't like Endeavor, which, fair, I'm with you, but they do kind of, hopefully, might touch on that in the next episode. But we'll see what they do or don't include, but I feel you out there. But Endeavor is cool. That's kind of what this arc is going to be.
Did we talk about the pink-haired kid crying blood? I don't remember if you said that.
I think I pointed it out, but it was very funny.
Yeah, I thought so too. I was not expecting that.
Because I do like is that he's, like, Endeavor is, like, because he was talking to All Might, and he's like, what is, like, it mean to be the symbol of peace? And he's like, do I gotta try to be that way? Like, what kind of hero do I have to be? And his fans might not like it. So, like, sudden change without thought behind it. Is that the right kind of change? Is it the wrong, like, how do you change? But, like, Horikoshi likes long games, so basically strap in, because it's a long game. But, I don't know. It's all very interesting. I am rambling. Do we want to move, or do we have any other parting thoughts about, pink hair?
I mean, just him.
Or anything else? No, just him. Only pink hair. I was so surprised he had pink hair. But about the anime in general, I'll allow it.
Oh no, I just wanted to talk about pink hair for 20 minutes.
I actually do.
Oh yay!
He reminded me of the guy from Fairy Tail.
Oh yeah!
A little bit with the scarf. So actually, that's all I wanted to say.
And his scarf makes me think of Sugimoto from Golden Kamuy. So he's like a fusion of Fairy Tail and Golden Kamuy. So now he is Golden Tail. I don't know. But on to the manga.
This is My Hero Academia.
So this is My Hero Academia manga chapter 266, disarmingly entitled Happy Life. So we start with Flame Boy Dubby saying he was unlucky, maybe by your screwed up standards. And he shoots a big fire flame right at Hawks, who jumps off using he's got his wing low ahead of him like a spear. And he grabs twice as he evades the fire. And Dubby says, but how? Hawks lands on the ground, putting twice down first. But Dubby's like, oh, whatever. You've lost most of your weapons. And then Hawks replies, and you nearly burned up your friend. And Dubby says, nah, because I know that heroes must always be ready to save a life.
I was going to comment quick, like, Hawk's wings here look a little longer than they did at the end of last chapter, so maybe they grow faster than I thought.
Yeah, well maybe he can, like, recall the wings? I don't know.
I think so, because he had a bunch when he was dealing with the, like, Sad Man parade, and then he brought them back. And I think this is the first time we've seen him without his jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Hawks carries on such cutting sarcasm, and the force of that attack. It was almost like you knew about me already, what gave me away. And W I like how he flips his hand back, like, yeah. Gave you away? Nothing. I never believed anything from the start. And Hawks just says, right. And we see him thinking, my wings are burned and crimpled. And besides this being my worst possible matchup, we're fighting in cramped quarters. He's got the winning hand here. I have to prioritise the mission. Bugigawara is weakened. I avoided his vitals, but sliced up his bones and muscles. Enough damage to prevent a full-blown rampage. I'll carry him out and... Nope, Twice is not having that. He makes a double, which he shoots up out of himself with a glomp to jump on the back of Hawks and try and distract him, as he makes the most agonising dash out, saying, "Burn him good!" And then Hawk's just like, "I said don't move," as the Twice that he's got behind him like wraps around his neck, but it's got to be that Twice double's got to be so weak by now. And Darby just bursts up the building, and we can see it's such a big explosion that it destroys like the whole of the background behind Hawks. And Twice is shouting, "Hot, cold," and Darby continues, "Just you alone's enough to make quick work of those heroes down there. Yeah, so go nuts. The others are waiting for you." And Bobby Guara's like, "Yeah, okay," as he like crawl runs with blood kind of coming out him as he tries to do what Darby's telling him. Oh, it's horrible. And he crawl runs past Darby and gives him a high five as he goes. Like, don't tell him to go to the heroes down there. Tell him to find a nice quiet space and relax, Darby, you pickle.
Oh.
Yeah, but anyway, Twice tries to create some like glompy clones out of him, and just as he makes for the door to escape, Hawks comes in. His wings are bigger and he's got one of his large sword that feathers. Big Guar is startled, so is Dubby. And he says he flew outside with the flames and circled back round. Too fast.
Too furious. Sorry.
And Bugwara is just like, "Out of my way!" Oh, and then from Dubby we get, Kigo or Kaigo? Kaigo Tamaki. And Twice is startled. I love the way he's drawn here. It makes him, where his face is darker, it looks like he's like maybe blushing, but he is shocked. He is shooketh. And Dubby throws some more fire at him, and Uguara just misses. Like, he's ducking on the ground. He's just missed. Darby is too reckless.
So, next panel, we get a heartbeat of a Badum, and Hawk's wondering, "How'd you know my name?" And then he looks at Dobby and thinks, Who are you?" And of course I think, who?
That's why I laughed, because I was like, I didn't realize.
I really want to know. Anyway. So then we get the fire burning from that room and kind of blasting, and Twice is huffing and huffing, and he thinks, "I gotta protect everyone," as he looks down at all the chaos going on below him, and he's huffing again. We see Compress being chased by like this really sweet like killer worm thing. Tremors! That's what they are, tremors. And yeah, they're coming at him and Toga, and he's thinking, "Protect them, Twice." And then Spinner's just like staring.
He's just chilling.
I love that. He's seen something mysterious in the wall.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's with the villains underground, isn't he? He's in that team.
Oh, he must
he's
be
underneath.
hearing. Yeah, he's seeing like, it looks like there's like the ceiling is crumbling apart.
Yeah,
he's like looking at that maybe.
He probably just saw Tokiyami's Ragnarok, Dark Shadow Ragnarok come through and plug up that exit maybe.
I always forget he wears polka dots.
What a fashion choice.
I'm like, why? But maybe we'll get to see him do something.
It's not a guarantee.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Twice is thinking again. He's thinking, "They accepted me," and all I can think of course, is "Gooble gobble, gooble gobble." Then, and how'd I pay them back? And we see a shot of Guren. And I never mentioned this before, but I really like Guren's design, like his gap tooth and all that. I think it's pretty cool looking. Okay, so then we see the building. We see Shigaraki in his tank. Then he continues to think, "By causing them more pain, I can't let it end like this way. Sure, my whole life it seems like." Then we see him producing a double. Then we see Hawk's coming out of the flames with a long sword feather. And he says, I've been a man falling lower and lower, getting duped. To you, my life looks pathetic, meaningless, and we're seeing the whole building crumble around all the action of the heroes in the paranormal liberation front.
Sorry to interrupt, but really quickly, Hawks is only wearing one glove now, so he is Michael Jackson.
Yeah, that's better. Okay, the next page, we got the crazy worm guy, hand hero guy, attacking Toga and Mr. Compress, and Compress yells, Toga! Toga yells, no! And they're airborne, and it's cool. They're coming out of the back of his hands, these weird worm thingies, and they're giant. And he says, Atsuhiro Seiko, Himiko Toga, you're under arrest, so I'm swallowing you up. And then Compress says, Toga, your usual evasive techniques didn't work. These foul things must have sensory capabilities. I'm guessing Toga's yelling, no, get off of me, please. You people might have your reasons, but once you started taking it out on society, we heroes can't allow you to have your way. This time, it's over, League of Villains.
And I do like that his mouth, like the hero, his mouth is like torn, which is like a cool touch.
Yeah.
Or like his mask is torn.
Yeah, his mask is. So I wonder why that is. It kind of resembles his like worm thingies with their square teeth things, I guess, maybe? I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's kind of an interesting choice.
But before we can learn more about this guy, he gets stabbed in the back of the head. And they're like, Jin! And, oh my god, I just forgot his name, even though
Compress.
I love him. Compress, he's like, I do believe we have won! And he's like, get off of them! Get off! And he's just like stabbing at him. And Compress falls, he's like, excellent! And he's like, more doubles at once, twice! Meanwhile, we'll make our getaway. Down below, dear Toga.
What is wrong with the League of Villains? Why won't they give him a break? He looks like crap. Let him rest.
Yeah. I think they're just thinking that, like, if he makes a double, I think they don't know, or I don't know, that they are, like, very casual about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, sorry, Compress, can't make more. And he's like, and why not? It's taking all I've got just to hold this form together. Like, when you're holding back on a dump, holding back a big dump. See, I got dropped down onto the concrete from up there, and if you go back, you can actually see him falling. And I didn't notice that the first time. I actually only saw it when Caleb pointed out on Twitter. You can follow him on, he's the official translator, you can follow him on Twitter at CDCubed. So, yeah, this is a double Dobby, this is a double twice, not twice. And he says, sorry, you two, it's my fault again. And they're just kind of like staring at him. And he's saying, Hawks pulled one over on me. I was duped again. Sorry. And Toga's just kind of like staring at him. And he says, Toga, oh no, that cute face of yours got hurt again. And she just has like a little bit of dirt on her face. Like, this is like nothing compared to what she had to go through thanks to curiosity. And he says, let me give you back your hanky. And he kind of like presses it to her face. And Compress is like confused. He's like, twice? And Toga looks at the hand. And then we kind of get a flashback to why that hanky's important. Because back when his mask got torn, she tied it on him. The hanky on, saying, staying covered keeps you whole, huh? And do you guys remember, was that at the start of the My Villain Academia, or was that with Overhaul?
That was Overhaul.
Okay. And she puts her hand to his hand, and it's already turning to goop by the time she touches it. I'm trying to see... Okay, yeah. It's already turned to goop, and he's thinking to himself, I wandered around, searching for myself, and I found myself blessed with friends better than I could ever be. And he's saying, like, can't make more of me. Sorry for everything. I mean it. And he's just, like, completely collapsing away. And there's, like, even the handkerchief has turned to goop and it's like leaving traces on her face. She's just saying like, Jin. Like there's not even a ... That's like the end. She's like, Jin. Like, I don't know. Thank you for saving me. And she gives him a hug, which is just like, it's very sweet. And he says, could a guy ask for a better life? And as different parts of him have goop, but it feels like he like more like solidified himself with this hug. And he says, die, Hawks. But you don't get to tell me I was unlucky. Being here with them, I was happy. Da 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 da. So that's the thing, is that probably, or I'm just like, the real Twice might be dead. We don't really know. All we know is that the copy he made it down. And he might have got stabbed with a big feather sword. But, Sophie, what were your thoughts on the chapter?
I feel like he's dead. I feel like the real him was the body that we see, like, flying out of the window on page 11.
Oh.
He landed and he was, like, crushed, and he made a clone. Or he used a clone to, like, hold his real body up, and that's why he was disintegrating. Because the whole way after that he starts speaking is, like, he's speaking in a different tense. Like, he knows that he's dead or not far off it. Like, it's like a definitive change. I feel like he's definitely dead. It was really touching. I kind of hope he's dead, because otherwise it would feel a bit like, oh, but he seemed like he was too much and now he's just survived again. But I don't want him to be dead, because I love his character. He's like the only, him and Spinner, I feel like, are the ones that have got some sort of like moral compass-ish, even though they're big villains. Well, not necessarily big villains in Spinner's case, but even though they're villains. And if he's gone, I feel like the League of Villains are just going to go more mental, especially Dabby.
Or Toga.
Yeah.
Like, Hawks is dead.
I mean, Toga, I think, would go more mental, as in, like, she'll go around and one, but I think she's already top tier crazy. Or fairly close to top tier crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think any, like, restrictions that they maybe had where they're like, oh, but I don't think we should attack them necessarily, I feel like that'll just go.
Mm-hmm. Gary, what were your thoughts?
I also like this one. This was a pretty huge chapter. It's going to have a big impact, I think. I will comment that it seems like twice in this chapter and the final conflict with Hawks toward the end of the last chapter, he isn't switching between the two voices in his head. So this is like a more intense situation, I'm guessing, and he's like able to focus on what's going on. Yeah. So I thought that was a cool touch.
The only switch he had was hot and then cold. Like, that was the one switch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's good for him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, Dobby is kind of like there. I'm sure we'll get his motivation soon, because they're hinting at it again, like, who is this guy? You know, that kind of thing. So hopefully we'll finally get him fleshed out a little bit more. So I look forward to that too. Yeah, pretty shocking though. When I read it, I wasn't expecting that outcome. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Cause I don't know. I like this. It's I have so much I want to say that I don't know how to say it. But I love all the Hawk stuff, and like we're kind of seeing it more from his side now. Cause before it was a little bit more of from Twice's side, of him like being scared of him and like not understanding. And now it's more like from Hawks' perspective, trying to like figure out what to do. And he's like, okay, I gotta prioritize the mission. Cause like he still was trying to save Twice. So that almost makes me think that maybe Twice isn't dead just by like, cause he had like a bit of mercy. But I really like the Dobby knowing his name is really interesting. And it's really funny because I think I mentioned his name in the last episode because I like went on the wiki and I think it was in one of the data books or something. And now it's nice that we like actually know it, and it adds like a bit of mystery because like I know Kamui Woods, they apparently, I think in one of the little information, like the show them in casual clothes, Horikoshi mentioned that his like backstory was made into like a movie, like in universe. So like I wonder how much is known about heroes really, because it feels like they go by their code names a lot. Like All Might, we didn't know his real name until Gran Torino. So that's like there's something going on there. I love all like the camaraderie between the League of Villains is really cool and really interesting because we didn't actually see Twice join. Twice kind of joined with Jiran because he wasn't at USJ. He like the first time we saw him was when they attacked like the training camp or whatever it was called. But he like I don't know they're all like friend. They all like actually care about each other, and I like that Toga, like her reaction, like I don't know if like she's like insane, but she is still like friends with these people, and she can still like it's nice that like these two people can still have that like a sweet moment towards each other before it all goes to hell. It's already gone to hell, but I don't like these people are friends, but they're also at the same time, like that hero said, they're taking it out on society now. And that's the problem. And what do you do? So it's, I don't know. I really like this chapter. Like the art for it, like the art was amazing. The last few like art stuff has been really good. I do want to say I didn't call it on here, but I called it on Reddit that maybe Hawks would use his feathers to like get away or something. So I don't know what's gonna happen here because the fight's not anywhere near over. I do, like, the League was just like, oh, you can just beat everybody, even, like, Dabi. And I was like, how? All these people? I guess because that's what he did with the Liberation Front. Like, he was able to create all those copies and, like, overwhelm them.
Yeah, against, like, just the general population.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think they're still underestimating heroes. But
I feel like doing a special episode just of Twice's best bits if this is him gone because he just, I loved him so much.
I think that's like Horikoshi got us good because like we really started to like Twice, especially like but like at the My Villain Academia, we got his backstory and he kind of like was sweet and like he got like a really cool moment where he overcame the like wondering if he was real or not. But then it's all gone now.
If we ever start, when we got the backstory of Magne was when Magne was killed. So if we start to get this backstory of Spinner like more, I'm gonna start shitting myself in terror that Spinner might be killed off. That's the sign.
Well, I think that arc started with a bit of Spinner backstory, the Villain Academia one.
Yeah, but it was just a tiny bit. It was like him in his room. It's very messy, not leaving the house. I don't know how much of a backstory that was.
Yeah, so we might get more. Yeah, like, because this really does feels very endgamey. So, like, but I guess Deku can exist without the League. It's not a story of Deku fighting the League. It's a story of how Deku becomes the greatest hero.
It's not endgame for the League. It's just endgame for Twice. Like, I don't think the League isn't going to die. They're not all going to die. It's not endgame for the League, I doubt.
Oh. I don't know. But I love this episode, or this chapter, and, like, I like, it's gonna be weird, like, how are they going to animate any of this?
I really want to know how, Darby knows about Hawks. I'm glad that Hawks, I don't know how characters keep getting these like huge injuries on their face and yet they can still use their eyes. How does Endeavour still have his eye? How does Hawk still have his eye when his face got burnt up? But I can't wait to see more of Darby and Hawks next week, but I'm just so shooketh. It's hard to formulate anything other than no Twice.
Oh, and I know I've seen a few people point out that Dobby, his markings are getting bigger. But then there's also stitch marks on those markings. So I wonder, does he have to keep going for checkups?
They're not what do you mean stitch marks? I thought they were staples.
Oh, how does he get more like someone's stapling him?
I mean, you can just get medical staples, probably, or just normal staples and staple yourself. Because if his steam, because his steam's come at it's damaging his face because of the steam. But also, he's crazy, so it could be some, like, self-masochism, is that the word?
Oh.
Or was that mutilation? Who knows?
Maybe there's a villain named the Stapler.
That would be, like, it's not the Doctor, it's actually the Stapler. I'd be here for that. But, yeah, it's an intense chapter, like, I think, there's no break. Okay, good.
And we finish by saying, just in case Twice is dead, which I really think he is, what are our favourite Twice moments?
Oh.
I have a favourite Twice moment.
Do you want to go first? Because I got to think of mine.
Yeah. The first time I realised I was going to like Twice was his friendship with Magne. And, like, when Magne died, he was really, like, I felt like he was the main one from the League of Villains that was upset. Like, the rest of them didn't seem to be as bothered. But Twice took it, like, really to heart. And you could see then that he just wanted to be accepted. And then his backstory made so much more sense. But I think that might still be my favourite time, the Twice, because it was the first time I realised, like, I'm going to like this guy.
I will add to that, too, like, how defensive he was of Big Sis Meg's pronouns.
Yeah.
Too, with Overhaul. That was pretty impressive.
And then the fact that he got his power up to save someone else, like to save his friends, like it wasn't for him. If they had just been attacking him, he probably would have died. But because he saw what they did to Toka, that was when he Pokemon evolved.
I guess for me, I really like his introduction, just because he was like a bit of lightheartedness in like a really scary situation, and you're like trying to figure out why is he talking like the opposite every now and then, and he was just like, he was so weird. And then also his backstory, I think, was really cool when like we kind of get to see like a darker side as well as kind of like the mental health aspect of it, which like is kind of a reach, but not. And it's just like, I don't know. I think like Twice brought a lot of really interesting ideas to the series. And if he is dead, I'm sad to see him go.
I think all the villains need to like do a chorus of "Thank you for being a friend."
Oh, thank you for being a friend.
I'm gonna agree with the backstory because I'm a really big Marvel fan, and he's very reminiscent of not Deadpool. I mean, he is, but Multiple Man, Jamie Maddox. Because, well, he has the same power. And, like, there was always the conflict of, like, the, clones thinking for themselves and taking over and fighting back, with him. So that was kind of like a cool nod, it felt like, to that character. I'm pretty sure it was. And with the whole Deadpool stuff, I just wanted to say this, like, officially. Like, Deadpool himself is based on Slade Wilson from DC Comics. So Slade, Deathstroke, I think his name is. And so everyone's always like talking about Twice being a clone of Deadpool. It's like Deadpool is actually a clone. His name is Wade Wilson, for goodness sake. So I just wanted to point that out because that always kind of bugs me, how people like go there. But I don't know. He's still a really fun character.
And now that he's dead, I can stop confusing Dobby and Twice. Because it's literally for no reason.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, too. Like, you won't have to worry about that as much. But if you go back to talk about Twice, we might have to worry about it.
Yes, Twice is... Goodbye, Bubba Gawara. Like, I don't know, Jin Bubba Gawara. I'm gonna miss him. Oh.
He was the heart of the team. He really was, so that's sad.
I like how much... He was like the main one, or like it seemed like the only one that really cared about Duran when they started finding his fingers everywhere.
Right.
And no one else seemed hugely bothered, but he was so motivated to find him. Like it really, you could see he really pulled at his heart.
That was something that really cemented him for me too, like how much he cared for Duran was just like, to us, kind of there. But like he really treated him like a member of the team and a person, so like that really made me like him a lot more too. Yeah, I don't know. Good kid. Good bad kid.
wonder how Shigaraki's gonna react, because Shigaraki's just in his, like, floating tube, so when he comes out and has whatever his deal is he even gonna be told about it? Is he only gonna find out after?
Yeah. And did Mocha have the double quirk as well, or is that something in a jar yet?
No, Mocha did. So,
Okay,
oh yeah.
so Mocha's dead too.
Yeah, and that's what I wonder who else of the League he made copies from. Yeah, because now they have a way, they maybe took some of his quirk factor, because they took something from somebody who still has their quirk.
Right, that's what I was wondering, or if he was able to do it from a clone.
Oh.
You know what I mean? But I don't know if we're ever going to get info on that. It was just like, yeah, Mocha has the double quirk too. It's like, okay.
I hope so. But I guess the real Twice, he already took enough damage that he couldn't be a clone, right?
The real Twice?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so, unless he kind of somehow found a way to use his clone abilities to hold up his structure, but I doubt it.
Yeah. Because I was like, that could be a twist, but he already got, like, beat up a lot, and
Yeah.
it takes a broken arm to break a first edition clone.
Right. That's what I was wondering, if he's like the oldest clone ever, and so like he was able to withstand this kind of stuff, but I highly doubt it. It really seems final at the end.
Rest in peace.
Right. Are we ready to move on to our email?
Oh yeah, I forgot we had an email. Yes, email.
This is my hero academy.
Okay, so this is an email from Liz. Thank you for writing in. And she said, "Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I really love your podcast. It is very enjoyable to listen to. I'm also a big fan of My Hero. I go to cons and cosplay. I started listening last year in February. I recently listened to the episode with the shipping wars. The best ship is Bakugo and Izuku. Controversial.
I'll fight you over it, but it's a good ship. I'll allow it. You can ship whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm not gonna knock it. It's like, to me, I don't see how it wouldn't be an abusive relationship. But any relationship with Bakugo is probably going to be abusive. So, at least verbally.
That's mean. I think, or verbally, but I think Bakugo has, like, a lot of growing up to do, and I think, like, so I could see them having a relationship later on that was better, and I can understand shipping them now, because it's, like, rivalries, rah! So, like, I get that. I don't want to shit on people's ships. But I forget, Gary, I don't think you were on for Shipping Wars. Who do you ship?
No, I don't either. I ship Totoro Momo.
Mm-hmm.
So Todoroki and Momo. And this is like a crack one. I think I was sending email at that point, because I remember, I think I sent some of my ships in email.
Oh.
But one of my big ones, even though it's like kind of a crack pairing, is Inasa and Mei Hatsume, because they both have so much passion, and I think like he would be like a test dummy for her, like totally willingly. So
I think you did send that in, because I was like, oh, they would be terrible to live next to. They'd be so loud.
Yeah, I think I remember that response too. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of who I think.
Yeah. I don't have an issue really with the Bakugo and Izuku, but they are both, especially Bakugo, are so far off any relationship. Like, I think Izuku is too focused on being a hero for romance, and Bakugo is also too focused, but the main issue is that he doesn't have the patience. He has no patience. That's why he's hardly got any friends.
I
He's got
also
more carers than friends.
Or what were you saying, Sophie?
I think he's got more carers than friends. Hiroshima is his social guidance carer.
Exactly, kind of like someone has to like want to be friends with him instead of like he like befriends them. People befriend him.
Yeah. Sorry, Bakugo? Gary, what are you saying? Ooh la la.
That's pretty close. I would say too, like, even though I ship Todoroki and Momo, I also ship Welby and Momo. Like, they would be cute.
I'm trying to think. I think I've said it before. I like Ochiko and Bakugo a little bit, even though like I don't think it'll happen. I guess Todoroki and Momo. I think someone we had on ships Ida and Momo, I think, and I like that too.
Yeah, I think that was Tenya Ida cosplay, and I also quite ship them.
Yeah. And then like I guess my problem for the younger people is that I'm just, even though I do love, like, shoujo and, like, rom-com stuff, they're in their first year. I don't know anyone who's still with a person that they were dating in first year. But this is fiction, and it's also Japan, and it's just fiction again. So, I don't know. I'm okay with most ships. We'll see. It's just fun to do it. Even if it won't happen, it makes it more fun.
Yeah, it's just fluff.
Yay!
So thank you for emailing in. You can get in touch with the podcast if you want to email us at myheropod@gmail.com, on Twitter @mhapod, and our website www.mhapod.com.
Yay. Gary, let's round it out. Gary, where can we find you?
Find me at Wrath of Giraffes on Twitter, and I'll also plug for James at That One Welder Guy. He has the Kicking Stones podcast, and that can be found at Dr. Stone or at Dr. Stone Pod on Twitter, and we're also both. Well, I'm a regular member on there, regular guest, I should say, and then Weeb Jammin' at Jammin' Weeb, where we review a random anime each month.
What one did you guys do recently?
We did Lovecom last, Lovely Complex. That's another shoujo, speaking of shoujo, where everybody's way too young to be in a relationship. But they're at least third years, I think, so that's not too bad. Second years, third years, they're somewhere around there. But yeah, it was a good discussion, because we break down the psychology of the relationships. And then this next month we're doing Trigun, so that's a classic. A lot of people have seen and loved, so yeah, it'll be exciting to talk about that one too.
Ooh, I just need to watch that one. You can follow me on Twitter at Sniper of My Heart, and I have another podcast where I yell about Haikyuu with other people, and you can follow that on Twitter at HaikyuuPod. Sophie, where can we find you?
You can find me sometimes on Twitter at Chopper's Antlers.
You can find me all the time on Animal Crossing, but anyway, go on.
And the podcast, I think Sophie already mentioned most of it.
I've done all of it, Kendra.
Oh, even the Twitter?
Yes.
Oh, well, I don't know. So go rewind a bit and listen to that again. I'm trying to think of a good round out. We wasn't just saying this episode.
It has to be twice related.
Yeah.
Remember twice and always love your friends and go beyond.
Plus
Ultra!
This is My Hero Academia Plus Ultra. Manga, anime, news and more. Plus Ultra.